Good morning, it's Lynn at Cheese and Yogurt Making here, and we continue our journey of meeting with cheesemakers from around England. And today I'm chatting with Becky at the traditional cheese dairy in East Sussex. Hi Becky, how are you?
Hiya, yes, really well, thank you.
Good, nice to finally meet you. We've talked a lot on the phone.
Yes.
Nice to finally get together. So just going to ask you a little bit about your setup there. And I know that your family are three-generation dairy farmers using traditional methods. So
Yep.
What's the story behind the family and the dairy there?
So Joe's granddad first started farming in, I've made a note of it here, it was 1947. And he rented his first farm, and it was a 36-acre farm, and he had 7 cows, 6 heifers, some pigs and some chickens. So that's where it all began. And then Andy, who is my father-in-law, so who was Ron's son, then expanded the herd up to 140 cows. And then we took the farm over in 2006, Joe and I, and we have been there ever since, really. So at the moment we have, it's averagely the cows that are in milk most of the year round are around 200 cows. So yeah, so that's the 3 generations.
Wow, sounds brilliant. What do you work with other local farms at all in the local area? I noticed something on the website.
We do. We buy in our sheep's milk. So most of our cheeses are made from our own cow's milk, but we buy in the sheep's milk from a guy over in Essex, and he, can't remember his surname actually, but it's called Kylie. He's a lovely farmer. I can find that out as well, what farm that is. Yeah, so, and then that's seasonal as well. So obviously we can only have it at certain times of the year. So we just make as much as we can in that time. And then, yeah, so that's great.
So the setup there in the dairy, I know you work in the office and do all the very important behind the scene things as well.
Yeah.
So actually in the dairy, how many of you? Who do you work with?
So my father-in-law Andy is the main cheesemaker, so he's in charge of making all of the cheeses, and then we assist in his makes just when it gets to the point where it needs more than one person. So we do that, and then we have I do a lot of the other sort of stuff in the dairy, so all the making up of the orders and looking after the maturing rooms and all that kind of thing. We have Joe's mum, Liz, who also works in there. So she works in there 2 mornings a week, and she washes our Bear Wash Rose cheese, which is our wash rind cheese. So that needs to be washed 3 times a week. So she does 2 mornings. And then we actually have my cousin who's temporarily working for us, who comes in and does 2 days as well. One with me when we're making up sort of our busiest make up order day kind of thing, and then she also looks after the bear wash on the 3rd morning, so she's really helpful as well, but she actually won't be with us for much longer. She is doing another month or so, and then we actually have a new full-time person coming in to help, which will be exciting. So yeah,
good. So expanding, really, new member of staff.
New member of staff.
Brilliant. And are you working there? I guess it's a 7-day. You're there every day, and something's got to be done every day. You try. Well,
we try to keep the cheese. Obviously, the on the farm it's 7 days a week, definitely. But we try to keep the cheese dairy just Monday to Friday. So we juggle around the makes just to ensure people aren't having to go in on weekends, which is quite nice. Sometimes we do. If we're making cheese on a Monday morning, my father-in-law will go in and get everything ready and organised on a Sunday afternoon. But we try really hard to sort of protect that family time and keep it from sort of seeping into our weekends. So I'm there 3 full days, and yeah, and my father-in-law's there for 5 days, but he's hoping to then cut back really and just go in for actual cheese make days, because he'd like to enjoy a bit of his retirement, I think.
Yeah, of course. I can understand that. Yeah, it's that sort of handover, isn't it, of
Yeah.
father son kind of thing, and
Yeah.
then taking a scaled back approach, but not completely going, keeping a hand in, really. So when about the cheeses, so what is the first cheese you started with? Do you have kind of like an older cheese that you traditionally started making originally, and you've added to the range? What's kind
So
of like the most popular?
we only took over the business in 2020. So we're still relatively new to it all, and we inherited the 5 cheeses that we make from the previous owners. So we just stuck to exactly how they made them, the same recipes, same methods. We learned everything. So obviously we weren't cheesemakers to begin with. We learned everything from them, and we've tried to keep it. So it was such a successful business beforehand, and the cheeses were always so popular and everyone really enjoyed them. So we've tried to just continue that over, and just stuck to the 5 cheeses that they made for now. So I think we will end up expanding and maybe have a few other cheeses in our selection, but for the moment it's just the 5 that we make. So it's the 3 hard cow milk cheeses, the 1 hard sheep's cheese, and then the semi-soft wash rind cheese that we do.
And you've kept the same names. I know there's the Scrumpy Sussex and the old Sussex, and keeping the like local theme going. Tell me about the Scrumpy Sussex. I like anyone with alcohol in any of the names.
Yes. Yeah.
Popular.
So that is definitely one of my, well, I say that about all of them as my favourites because I can never choose. But yeah, it's really lovely, creamy, flavoursome cheese. It's definitely a popular one. So I think you would really enjoy it. So yeah, so it depends obviously on your tastes and what your particular likes are with cheese, but I really like that one, the Scrumpy. It's lovely.
Good. And so getting the cheeses out there, and I think you, I read that you've won awards. Some of the cheeses have won awards
Yes.
in the UK and worldwide as well.
So that was obviously before we took on the business, but the Dybals, the people that we bought the business from, I think they were very successful in there when they entered into competitions. And I think it sort of carried on that reputation, which is really good. So it's lovely to inherit something that's so popular and well thought of. Yeah, and we're still sort of getting people now ringing who were customers of theirs, and they've tracked us down because we've moved the dairy onto our farm now. So whereas before it was based in Stonegate, and they sort of track us down and ask, are you still making this Belsh rose that we love? So it's quite nice that it's obviously so popular, and we've been able to carry that on, which is really great.
Well, that's lovely. You've got that reputation there, and people tracking you down. They want the cheeses. So
yeah, we've been really fortunate.
Yeah, you've got something good, and you want to run with that and carry on. So where can people buy the cheeses? What have you? Tell me about the setup for for actually purchasing them.
So we have a website which you can go onto, and on the website is our online shop, so you can go on there. And it's really simple. You can select your weights, you can select sort of a selection of cheeses as well. So if you can't decide on which ones you like, you could have a little bit of every one of them. And then we either do a postal option, so you can order it from anywhere in the country, or we do like a local click and collect service as well. So if you're nearby us, you can come in and just collect the cheese yourselves. And then also you could just phone the dairy. We're often there to place an order, or if you have any questions or anything like that about the cheeses, we can always help you decide what you would like or advise you on weights and things like that. So yes, however you want to reach us, you can really.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, is there anything else you want to add? Anything, as I say, you're just going to carry on as you are with that great history that you've inherited, and who knows where that might take you, expanding the range of cheeses and things, really. Yeah.
We'd love to add a cheese that's sort of something to do with our home farm, or you know, name a cheese after our home farm or something like that. So I'm excited for what the future brings into that. But yeah, at the moment, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and sort of keep learning, because it's obviously still really new to us all. And yeah, just hopefully expand and carry on with the good reputation that we were lucky enough to inherit. So
that is brilliant. And I know you have a next generation that you're nurturing.
yeah,
Many of those children of yours, 5 children, juggling, that's no mean feat. So who knows that where some of them, all of them, or 1 or 2 of them may take an interest. So yeah.
My eldest daughter is already very keen, so she comes and helps whenever she gets the opportunity, and she's got big plans for it. So I think we'll have to. Yeah.
Good for her.
Exactly.
She knows what she wants already. Oh well,
yes.
let's hope. That'll be nice. That'll be nice to think, won't it? That you know you've got you're rearing the next generation there, and they may take an interest. So fingers crossed. Well, it's been an absolute delight to chat with you today. We finally caught up. It's taken a few attempts, but we got there in the end.
Yes.
And you know, finally great to meet you. And let's talk again soon. Keep us posted on what's going on there at the dairy. And been lovely to chat. Thank you so much, Becky.
Yeah.
Speak to you. Take care.